Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I appreciate the matters raised by the Honourable MP Semuju. One, I want to say that Article 208, which says UPDF shall be subject to civilian authority, does not take away a right to have an opinion, freedom of expression, the rights and freedoms enshrined in Article.
No, honorable colleagues, honorable colleagues, here we receive opinions. Whether you accept it or not, whether popular or unpopular, this is where someone should stand up freely, okay, and speak. So let's give the Attorney General a chance. He submits, then you can rebuttal. Yes, but now if you don't want him to speak, if you don't want him to express his opinion, and you remember a honorable member has asked me that I should ask government, and I've asked government. This is the chief advisor of government. Where else would I go? So please, Honorable Attorney General, complete your point.
Chapter 4 of the Constitution is one in which the Bill of Rights is enshrined. And at no time does the Constitution tell us that Article 208 ousts Chapter 4 of the Constitution. Being a military man does not put you outside the ambits of Chapter 4 of the Constitution. You retain the right to express yourself. You retain the right to form an opinion. It would be different. It would be different if he was ferrying ballot papers and voter materials for a particular party. And even then, if he has to do it for security purposes under the circumstances, each case would be adjudged based on its facts. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Since we allowed the Attorney General, we can also hear from the Shadow Attorney General.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. All along I thought I went to the same law school with my old friend until today. Well, I'm not saying that I'm disappointed because he has expressed his opinion, but I think it is vulgarizing a very important matter which Honorable Semuju has raised. That a serving military officer who is at the helm of the UPDF currently comes up and makes statements which not only contravene Article 208 of the Constitution, but also the UPDF Act itself. And an Attorney General comes and defends that kind of conduct as part of the freedoms of expression and opinion, well knowing that some freedoms are subject to the law.
Just sorry for interruption, Honorable Nwagaba. Some of us, are not in social media and all that. Where are these statements? Because there are things being referred to. No, because it seems there are statements which some people have read, some of us have not read. I just if one could lay it on the table, it would help some of us. Okay? Yes. No. I'm just asking honestly, because if we take it that everyone is on social media waiting for statements and all that, okay? So if we can lay on table, Honorable Soro, you want to lay your phone on table?
Yeah, yes, Honorable Speaker. I want to lay my phone, which has the Twitter official accounts of the CDF.
Please lay. Describe your phone and lay. but just Honorable Segon has said he wants help.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You know, under the same constitution, a person is innocent until he pleads guilty or until he is found to be guilty. When you passed over the mantle to the executive, and the executive owned up as a fact but defended on the law, I was relieved. The executive, which you were asking to respond, I had expected them to say we shall investigate, but because they knew, they did not undertake to investigate. But owing to the seriousness of this matter, Mr. Speaker, I thought, with your guidance, that the right way of dealing with this would be to refer the matter to an investigation, irrespective of who is involved, because it is about our life, it is about the safety of everybody in this country. It is a matter that should be investigated. I went to the same law school, not only law school, but same high school with the Honorable Attorney General KAFUUZI. I am not disappointed, because one core thing we were taught is to express the opinion. And the Supreme Court of this land has ruled in Andrew Mwenda and Charles Onyango Bo versus Attorney General that a person has the right to express even a wrong opinion. I was going to say, outside Parliament, I say even a stupid opinion. But fearing you where you're seated, Mr. Speaker, I opted to refrain. My appeal to you, sir, and to this House, for the safety of this country and everybody, is subject this to an investigation so that we have my brother, Kainerugaba, to also say I said, I did not say, I was not in my usual moods or something else. So we give him a right to defend himself.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Now, let me first rule on that. Honorable colleagues, the UPDF has its code of conduct, has its disciplinary procedures. If any member of the UPDF violates their code of conduct, they are subjected to their disciplinary. I have seen generals going there. I have seen senior officers going there. So I don't want Parliament to turn itself into an investigative body where before the institution can utilize its own mechanisms in case there was a problem. In case there was a problem. So really, I am not going to be referring this matter to a committee for investigation. We have a lot of business to handle here. Let us leave institutions to handle theirs. But Honorable Mwagaba conclude.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. As I conclude, information, okay.
Mr. Speaker, sir, what I would like to give information to my Shadow Attorney General. I was the Shadow Minister responsible for Defense and Veteran Affairs in this Parliament. And the Ministry of Defense, fully constituted, came and appeared before our committee. The Honorable Vincent Sempija, who was the minister, headed that delegation, supported by the State Minister then, who is now the Minister, Honorable Both, and then the CDF then, Honorable Mbadi, who is here. They came. I put this question to them. I told them that we have a serving military officer who appears to be above the law and is contradicting an act of parliament. When I began to ask the question, the Honorable Sempija immediately felt some cold and rushed out of the committee meeting here in parliament. The Honorable Oboth immediately took a phone call and said, I'm coming back, literally running away. The CDF who had the command, and I challenged him, and the colleagues who sit on the committee was there, he said, as the army commander, can't you issue orders? The CDF Mbari said, do not cause me trouble. And said, please leave me alone. So the question we are dealing with.
So why does Semuju want to cause us trouble? If that's the issue.
So, Mr. Speaker, so first I want to give that information, but now, Mr. Speaker, you also see that the trouble wants to come to you.
No,
but the issue
I
now,
hope Honorable Semuju has heard. Yeah, you've given him good advice.
yes, but beyond that, Mr. Speaker, in the Act, there are provisions for the minister to make regulations. And there are so many regulations that have been made. The last one that I had and I saw the president launching it was called the UPDF establishment. By law, every regulation made by the minister must come before this parliament so that we can scrutinize to see whether they conform to the spirit and letter of the law that we have made here. That act has not come. But I saw the president and the people who briefly explained say the commander-in-chief, who is given powers by the Constitution and the Act, has now delegated some powers as a commander-in-chief to somebody else. That is extremely contradictory to what we have here. Because, as you know, the commander-in-chief is protected, he has immunity and etc. I therefore want to request that you prevail over the Ministry of Defense to bring that act here, that regulation, the UPDF establishment, so that we can interrogate the powers that the policy, the regulation has given to the CDF. He may be acting because the powers are provided in that, so that we can nullify it. Otherwise, one day we'll wake up and then you will find that there is no government elected by the people and someone is prevailing over a government which is unconstitutional. It's a danger that we should take care of. That's the information I'm giving.
Attorney General, specifically on that issue. Just Attorney General, specifically on that issue of UPDF establishment.
Right Honorable Speaker, I will send it to Oduru Jonathan, my honorable colleague. Yes, there are regulations made, and if you are concerned that they have not been tabled in Parliament for purposes of perusal, the Ministry of Defense can do that, because it is well within the right of Parliament. Be that as it may, my senior colleagues, the Shadow Attorney General, and my former head boy, the Honorable Segona, cannot legally point to any clause in the Constitution that ousts anyone's right to freedom of conscience, expression, and having an opinion. Now, unless if you are telling us that the Constitution has a conflict within itself, which no court has made a pronouncement on, the status quo remains. I beg to submit.
Honorable colleagues, this matter closed. Yes, how I've closed it is how it